Sharanam Mavadina Bandho Bhaktir Bhavascha
सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवी रामकृष्ण जगद्गुरु पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चे सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे कालिन्दे फुल्लकमले माधवेन क्रीडारत Brahmananda Namastubhyam Sadguru Lokanayakam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hello everybody. Yesterday was the what we celebrated was Maha Shivaratri. So before starting this talk, I would like to read out something. And as part of the talk, I would like to read out something that before my prayer is on that this auspicious day, may Lord Vishwanath, Shiva is also known as Vishwanath, and Mother Annapurna bless us all with bhakti. So with this prayer, I would like to read out from some of the incidents that are very inspiring because it is connected to Ramakrishna modern mission with our Thakur Swamiji. That is why I would like to read out something before going to tell about Shiva something. In Kamarpukur, Chandrabani, the mother of Sri Ramakrishna, saw a flood of light emanate from the Shiva Linga and enter the body, and she felt that she was with time. Thus, Sri Ramakrishna was born in this age as Lingo Bhava, the light of Shiva. Sri Ramakrishna also, you see that mother, when his father went to Gaya, Lord Vishnu promised that I will be born as your son. Lord Vishnu had promised that I will be born as your son to his father. But we see that when Chandramani Devi, there is a Shiva temple, as you will go to Kamarpukur recently, there is a Shiva temple. There she saw a light coming out of that Shiva and entering into her womb. And thus Sri Ramakrishna was conceived and born as an incarnation of Shiva as well as Vishnu. So this is one incident, and thus Sri Ramakrishna was, that is why they say Sri Ramakrishna is Linga Udbhava. He was born out of that Linga, means the Shiva Linga, that you saw that people are worshipping, putting milk and putting ashes and everything. That is also, it is called Shiva Linga. And interestingly, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Jiva is Shiva. He gave a different name, concept to altogether to this Shivahood. That he said, Jiva, every living being is part of that Shiva. Every being is Shiva. Jiva is Shiva. That was a new concept that was brought about. You know, there is a lot of controversy whether we should put milk, as we were telling, that people are putting milk and honey and ash and so many things, adoration of Lord Shiva. And many people say it is a wastage of milk, it could have been given to many people who are hungry and things like that. So there is a lot of other things. But you see, Sri Ramakrishna gave a different perspective to this worship, saying that each and every jiva, every living being is part of manifestation of that Shiva. Jiva is a Shiva, is a new concept started by Sri Ramakrishna, and it is followed by Ramakrishna modern mission all over the world. Now we worship, when we serve this human being, we don't think that we are doing something great or we are doing some compassion or having pity on them. We say it is a worship. When we service people, give service to the people in the form of medical assistance, money, food or other things, we assume that the merits of having that, doing that puja is same as worshipping in any temple. So that is the new concept that Sri Ramakrishna gave, that Jiva is Shiva. In other words, ordinary beings are really Shiva, but ignorant and bound. Though they are Shiva, but because of this Maya, they are not aware of this greatness. But if you can see Shiva, you see your life will be transformed, because you will not be able to get angry on anybody or have pity or hatred towards anybody, because everybody is the same. You will see whatever Shiva is there within you. You see one new concept that also came, that when we see Brahman in others, when Shiva in others, you also have to realize that Shiva is also within you. You see, this is something very new that came. I am also Shiva, that is also Shiva. As I said, Aham Brahmasmi means I am talking about one, but myself. But here he gave a different concept, that we are worshipping everybody as embodiment of Shiva, as well as I am also that Shiva. So I am also a pure effulgent being, they are all also pure. But because of this Maya, they are surrounded by this ignorant and they are bound. That is the only difference that is hiding them. One day, but ignorant. Our goal is to attend. One day while worshipping Shiva, I was about to offer a bell leaf on the head of the image, when it was revealed to me that this Virat, this universe itself is Shiva. After that, my worship of Shiva came to an end. Another day I've been plucking flower when it was revealed to me that flowering plants also are so many bouquets. So Sri Ramakrishna has this experience that the whole world is Shiva. How can I offer one bilva? There are things, they say in Shiva Purana, the book containing the greatness of Shiva, there are different scriptures. We call it Shiva Purana. There it is mentioned that Shiva is very easy to please with very little offering, little Ganges water you pour on his head and Bilva Patra and whatever and very easy. All along many Puranas we hear that Shiva grants boon very easily to the demons. Also many, whether he is a Rakshasa or it is anybody with devotion, if he worships Shiva, his boon are very easily granted. So that is why it is said Shiva is very easy to please. So Sri Ramakrishna says when he sees that Virat Shiva, the whole world is cosmos is Shiva, then that small worship he could not do anymore. So that is one of the things that we get in his life. So there is a prayer. O Lord, if the blue mountain be the ink, the ocean the ink pot, the biggest branch of the heavenly tree be the pen, the earth the writing leaf, and taking all this, if Sharada, the goddess of writing, learning, writes all the eternity, even then limits of your virtue will not be reached. He says that the greatness of Shiva cannot be described. Here we can recall the incident in Kalpataru Day, on the Kalpataru 1st January, when Sri Ramakrishna became a wish fulfilling tree, Kalpataru. He was granting wishes. The first thing he asked Girish Ghosh. Girish Ghosh was had a very different kind of a life, immoral life. But he asked, what do you look at me? He was one of the first to proclaim that you are that whose greatness could not be described by Vyasa. Vyasa wrote Mahabharata and Valmiki and Vyasa. They are all those who even they cannot capture the greatness, your greatness. How can I tell you how great you are? Because the greatness of Avatara cannot be described. Here also, this poem also it is mentioned that all things taken together, we cannot describe the greatness of Shiva. So this is one thing that we come to know. Sri Ramakrishna once entered into an ecstatic mood and cried out again and again, "Oh great God, how can I express your great glory?" You see, Sri Ramakrishna also, where he was working as a priest, originally he was priest of Mother Kali, but there are 8 temples of Shiva. If you go to Dakshineshwar, you will see there are 8 temples of Shiva and Vishnu temple also, as well as Kali. So many temples in one whole campus. So sometimes he used to go to worship Shiva also. So there he says, how can I express your greatness? All coming towards the spot, hearing the cries of Sri Ramakrishna, Madhur Babu was in that temple, and hearing the uproar, he also came and prevented others from removing Sri Ramakrishna forcibly from Shiva temple. The verse from Shiva Mahimna Stotra, which was recited again and again by Sri Ramakrishna, is immediately applicable to his own life. Sri Ramakrishna himself is the Shiva of this age, whose glory so many winters and poets have. Whatever glory we describe of Shiva, we see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So that way they are connected. And as we see Shiva, he also was a great worshipper of Shiva. So one of the great contribution of Sri Ramakrishna is he gave a new dimension to this Shiva worship. Originally in India he is worshipped by adoring him with milk and other things. So, but he says, he is not criticizing that or asking you to stop doing what those about ritual, but he said he gave a different light that consider every human. I think that is the most important teaching that we get in Sri Ramakrishna's life, and one of the best that one can have, by worshipping everybody as embodiment of Shiva. Now coming to who is Shiva. You see, according to our Hindu culture and Sanatana Dharma, there are 3 gods. Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who sustains, and Shiva is destroyer. They do not have life or birth or death. They are Adideva. Devadidev. We call him Devadidev Shiva. They do not have death. They do not have any birth. Otherwise, all of us are subjected to life and death. We have a temporary, even when incarnation comes, when Vishnu or Shiva, there is an incarnation, there is also a lifespan. After a certain period of time, they also have to go back to their origin. But God, 3 gods, they are the full God means He should be omnipotent, omniscient, and all those powers are manifested in this. So Shiva is said to be the destroyer, because everything which is created needs to be destroyed. So Vishnu sustains, Brahma creates, and Shiva destroys. But this is, he has been given that role. Destruction doesn't mean negative, that he is not a killer or something like that. Because everything has to go, that is why he says that that is his role that he has taken of destroyer. That is why he is called destroyer. But if we read life of Shiva, it is an exemplary, it is a life to be noted, because he is always meditating. He stays in cremation grounds. He has no desire to wear a luxurious clothes. He is only he is Yogi Raja. He is known as a yogi for all these monks. That is why he is called Guru to the teacher of all the monks, because he is embodiment of renunciation. That is one of the greatest glory. He has nothing to demand, nothing to expect, and very easily pleased. That is one of the greatest things. So of Shiva, and he stays supposed to be in a Himalayas and one place like Mansarovar, but another description is he stays in a cremation ground, and ghosts and all things surrounds him, and this is how he lives. Totally life of a mendicant, always meditating, always meditating, always meditating. He is always immersed in meditation. That is one other thing. But when we read some stories in Puranas, like once demons, there are God, demigods, demons, and human beings, three categories. So they are all fighting. Gods and demons are always fighting for supremacy. So they want to have eternal life. So they were told that under the sea there is a Amrita Kunda, a pitcher which has nectar. If you take that, you will become immortal. You will have no death, no misery, no pain, no disease, nothing like that. So the story goes like this. They were the Vasuki and the snake, and there was a Meru Parvat, and they started churning the ocean. Once the ocean was churned, many things came out. One was the nectar, but most importantly, poison came out. It's a very deadly poison. Means you cannot, nobody can take it, and wherever it will fall, it is like a muriatic acid. Wherever it fall, it will destroy. What to do? They were all surprised. Now everybody was shaking with fear because they did not know what to do. But then Shiva came to rescue. He took that poison, and that poison got accumulated in his stomach. He did not digest it, but he kept it in his neck, and the whole body became blue. So he is called Neelakantha. That is how he got. You see, that is how he apparently is called destroyer. But he took all the poison within yourself, and then he kept it in his neck, and then he became Neelakantha. What a sacrifice! How many people would like to do something like that? It is a lesson to be learned. We all want good things in life, but very few are ready to take the poison. Means whatever negativities, whatever weakness is around, we are very, very reluctant to take all this, digest ourselves. But in a sense of sacrifice, we should take whatever that negativity, consume that negativity and keep it in us, and do not send it. You should not retaliate or punish somebody for what they have done. Just if they insult you, if they disregard you, what they can do? They can ill-treat you, disregard you, insult you, or beat you. Nothing more than that. So why keep that? Keep it inside. Do not take it. Do not digest those things. It means to say, just keep it and then throw it. It will have no effect. Very interesting thing. If you just don't allow it to enter deep within yourself, it will not be able to act also. But at the same time, supreme sacrifice that Shiva shows, that is what to be learned. Another thing is, Shiva is also known as a dancing god, guru of all dancing. Yes, that the role you do not know. He is one of the Tandava Nitya, whatever is there. He is original, and many schools have come after his Nitram. The Tandava, that Shiva Tandava Nitram, that is a different kind of a, where Shiva we see with the forehand and he is doing Tandava Nitram, all the schools, many schools of dance in India, which is like Odissi, Kathak, this and that, they all consider Shiva as their dancing guru. We monks consider him as because he is an embodiment of renunciation and then supreme sacrifice by drinking that poison. So today I just wanted to just give this a glimpse, and what we see in the ritual, that is also given in a Purana to please the God. But we don't follow in this world. I told you that in our present world, instead of definitely, I cannot denounce rituals and say don't give milk to the Shiva or Abhishekam or other thing. But I definitely think the milk that you are offering there, if it will be better if you feed children. Better if you see Jiva, every Jiva as embodiment of Shiva. With this word, I will just close. Om Niranjanam Nityam Ananta Rupam Bhakta Anukampa Gita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamedam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasha Ramami.